This video is brought to you by Diamond Pacific Tool Corporation. Diamond Pacific is America's favorite diamond tool, wheel, and lapidary machine manufacturers. For nearly half a century, Diamond Pacific has set the industry standard for diamond lapidary equipment. Join the majority of professional lapidaries and choose Diamond Pacific products such as their Nova wheels, Pixie, Genie, and Titan gem makers, as well as their wide selection of other high-quality lapidary diamond products. Check out Diamond Pacific today and find out why they're considered America's premier diamond lapidary tool manufacturers.
All right, how you doing, brother?
Good. Good to talk to you finally.
Yeah,
how you doing?
It took forever. I'm doing great. I'm sorry that it took so long.
No, it's no worries. I know how busy you are. I meant more like it's nice to finally meet face to face and talk to you. We've chatted text and whatnot, but yeah, it's nice to face chat finally.
Yeah, definitely. We've been trying for weeks.
Yep. Life is busy.
Thanks for being there when we cracked open the box. That was awesome. Yeah. And what I didn't realize, because I didn't go through it because I really wanted to unwrap everything not on a live video, was that awesome piece, which should be around here somewhere. I'll show it on B-roll stuff. That actually only came from the $5 grade. So then today, when I was going through it, I was looking at the 20 and 15. I'm like, damn, it's so much better. It gets so good.
Yeah, and that's why there's different grades, like any stone, you know. Mm-hmm. You get all kinds of grades there. But you made a decent piece out of that $5 a gram. I mean, you can definitely make your money on that.
Easy peasy. I had a few people reach out to buy it, and we just didn't discuss anything. Like, I think I asked you on camera if I could even cut it, which I had told people if I didn't talk to him, he probably would have let me, but I just feel more comfortable since, like, it's not like you picked this up at the Denver Gem Show. Like, these are blood, sweat, and tears. And I also didn't know that you sent me everything that you had rough.
Yeah, not everything, just everything that I would be willing to sell.
Right. I'm sure you have your private stash.
Yeah. I
see that you use a Pixie. Is that your main squeeze?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of cabbing, really. I'm more of a specimen guy.
It's good to have.
Jasper is my main thing. So my Pixie is just to piddle around with, cabbing the occasional piece, just to kind of see what material is going to look like before I invest a lot of time, polishing specimens or whatnot. But yeah, it's a great machine. I absolutely love it. Just put a couple new Nova wheels on it, and they're fantastic. It's a killer machine.
Did you get it used?
No, I bought it together when I bought a saw, and they just happened to have this there with it, and they made me a great deal on the combo, so I couldn't refuse.
Oh yeah, those things. That machine's gonna outlive us all. But I can tell because of the far right wheel, it looks like 14,000, and
yeah. This one is 3, but then it's
pink? Or is it pink?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's just where the light... It's white?
It's white. It just probably looks pink because of whatever I was grinding on it last time.
White is usually 14, and pink is 3.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is 3, though, because there's no way it puts a 14 polish on it. Because I've got the magnetic 8014 to put on the end, and it definitely puts a better polish on it after that.
Is it Diamond Pacific or is it Johnson Brothers?
No, they're all Diamond Pacific wheels.
Awesome.
So I don't know. Maybe it was pink at one time, and it's just, I don't know. It's an old machine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was literally sitting in a barn unused for I don't know how long.
What a trip. The old timer thing was like this 80 grit, 220, 280, 600, 12, 3000. That wasn't always like the thing. Diamond Pacific kind of started that, and then it just became a standard. But then some people will remove the 3000 and put on a 14. So like a turquoise guy or like a softer rock person, it'll go there. But for hard agates, porcelain jaspers, that jump from 12 to 14 is like way too much. And so it depends on what you're cutting. That's why I thought it was used.
With the agate and jasper, I stop at 3 and go straight to cerium on the leather wheel. I have a Richardson's leather wheel, and
those are great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can
amazing.
lean in your full body weight on that machine.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, love it.
You sent me some videos of you mining and such, and some of them you're like, it's dark. Do you work at night? It looks like you have some good lighting and you're working at night.
Yeah. Well, I have a full-time job, more than a full-time job during the day. And I have 2 kids and a wife and, kids, they're teenagers. So bottom line is, when I make that 3-hour drive out to my claims, every minute I'm there, I'm utilizing those minutes. So yeah, it takes digging at night until you can't dig anymore. And then, that's just how it is. Sometimes you get off work, drive 3 hours, you still have a couple hours of sunlight, and then you've got to, you'll just dig until you can't dig anymore with headlamps and, little LED lights make it a lot easier these days. All the batteries we have, and, it's not like the old times.
I completely forgot to introduce you. You're Matt. And you mine Ellensburg Blue. And I thought Ellensburg was actually in Oregon. It's in Washington.
It is, yeah. It's in central Washington.
Do you live in Washington?
Smack dab in the middle. Yeah, I live in western Washington, near Seattle, a suburb of Seattle.
Oh, awesome.
Kind of eastern suburbs, near Redmond.
Heck yeah. And how long have you been working that material?
Well, it's only been, all the mines were privately owned up there until about 3 years ago. And then they were turned over to some other claims that I was able to mine on, some private claims. For 2 years, I got myself and my partner, Chris Herrera. I think he was on the chat with us during that box opening. He and I have had those claims just over a year now. It's been a interesting time, just prospecting for it and getting out there and making the discovery, setting the post. It's a lot of work, and the terrain out there is really, it's pretty aggressive. Let's just say that.
Does that make the mining difficult? Is it hard rock mining, seams? Are there nodules?
Yeah, it's interesting. So there are a total of 13 claims up on that mountain as of today. And there's different areas of that ridge where there are deposits of material. Some of it has been found in the past in intact seams, in hard rock. But most of what we've been finding the last couple years are what I believe to be a slump deposit. Basically, the land rose up, the seams came out, everything just fell on. It's a mass wasting deposit.
Oh,
so it's a lot of basalt, a lot of rotten rhyolite, which is what the agate is found. That's the actual host rock, is the rhyolite. And then the rest of it is just decomposed mess, red rhyolitic hard clay that just turns to cement when it gets hot and dry. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. A lot of dirt sometimes, and a lot of just busting rock other times. Busting rock and hard mud.
Are the tools like gads, sledgehammers, pry bars, or are you using some big stuff?
No, right now we don't have an operations plan currently. So we're only using hand tools. So it's just largely a pickaxe, a rock hammer, a shovel, and some buckets.
Interesting.
Yeah, the name of the game is moving material. It's kind of like gold. The more material you can move, the more success you're going to have.
And since it's not like intact seams, you're probably getting like all 4 or 5 of your grades at the same time instead of like this, and then chasing different stuff. Like the good stuff's popping out with the casual stuff, and what a trip.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are different deposits, and like I said, in some of the areas you can find seams that were intact close by. I have actually, here's one I mined last year, but here we can see, I'll try to hold it up to the camera
awesome.
here. So here's a big seam.
No
the
doubt.
blue doesn't really show up on camera, right? But if we look, it's actually two pieces. And I found them, 10, 12 feet apart on different days.
And you knew right away.
At different depths. No, I didn't know until I got them home and cleaned them up. And I was like, because to find them in that quartz matrix is not always common, and they're always good. So yeah, the two looking at home, I was like, those look like they would fit together. Sure enough, they do.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, you can find, like you said, different grades, in like one area you can find all three grades, or all grades from $5 to $20 a gram. Because we're in just a wasting deposit right now. And you had the question about nodules. So what happened? Well, my theory of what happened, because we're still learning the geology of everything there. There's lots of videos on YouTube about it. My partner's done a couple on Chris and Andrew Outdoors. He has a YouTube channel. So he's done a couple. He's filmed the previous mine owner, Carl Carlson, who's both Chris and I's mentors in this kind of adventure we're on together. We've both known him for years, and he kind of got us involved in hunting for him before the claim situation changed. So he taught us that, the material was found not in basalt, because we're surrounded in the areas where we're in this basalt called Teanaway basalt. It's a chalice magma story. Same type of story that Casey Santee's Lone Juniper claims are in. It's a chalice magma story over in Idaho. This is just several million years later. But in that Teanaway basalt that came and formed, sometime later, magma came through that Teanaway basalt where it had cracked and shifted. Rhyolite pushed up through that basalt and became intrusive rhyolite. Then sometime cracks formed in the rhyolite. Quartz filled those cracks in the rhyolite. And then the voids left when the quartz crack were finally filled with the last event, which was the blue agate. And so we don't often find them in nodules like you find in a lot of our other agate types. Like you would be busting out a basalt. It's often in nodule form. Nodules, I will say, it's not that they're not out there. I think they are. We've probably only seen two nodules that you could pick up and you're like, that's a nodule of true Ellensburg Blue. I've got a couple here. This was, kind of a wonky looking nodule, right? And it's mostly just quartz and rhyolite on the exterior. But if you cut it open, see the middle is blue.
That's rich.
But it's not just your traditional type of a nodule. See that? It's got rhyolite messed up in there and other minerals. So they're kind of, we tend to refer to them as vesicles rather than nodules. They formed in not like a cracked seam, but maybe like a weird void or something that was not seam shaped or not nodule shaped. It's kind of somewhere in the middle.
And is the...
Wait, can I show you one more weird one?
Oh, of course.
So this is another, it's not a seam or a nodule. I don't know if I can get better light on this. Let me see if I can.
And also, I'll write a little note. You can just send me on your cell phone a picture of it after, and I can put it on. But in the meantime, just for describing.
Yeah, you can always cut this out if it's terrible.
No.
But yeah, that little piece right there just looks like a piece of rhyolite, kind of in a weird pattern. But if you turn it over to the other side, can you see? It's just all blue on the inside.
Definitely.
Just a weird shape.
Oh, that is awesome. And is it hard? Is it difficult mining? Like you getting like 2 or 3 pieces a day if you're lucky, kind of thing. You're not just getting.
Oh yeah, if you're lucky. I mean, I went up the last 2 times I found a couple pieces. This one is another strange one, which is kind of a seam, but look at that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's a seam with your rhyolite and a thin layer of quartz coming through there, but it's just a weird shape, and there's no other indication on the other part of the rock other than some impressions here where they're really edged, so you can see where this was butted up against. So it's kind of like your contact zone between the intrusive rhyolite and the Teanaway basalt.
That is awesome. How long have they been mining Ellensburg? Like from the beginning, the people knowing about it?
Yeah, that's a good question. From the little history I know, and I'm not a historian, my partner's way better at the official history of this, but my short history is in the early 1900s, the mayor of Ellensburg, it's a big farm town in a valley. Ellensburg is just a big flat valley near the Columbia, not too far from the Columbia River in central Oregon, surrounded by Columbia River basalts to the south and to the east and to the northeast. And then to the north and northwest, it's kind of surrounded by this other terrain, the Teanaway basalts. And the farm fields is where they originally found the blue agates in the early 1900s, in that flat area in certain areas near Ellensburg. And the mayor was the first one to officially bring them to market. He brought them to Seattle. He had jewelry made of them. And then it kind of started this small scale frenzy, a localized frenzy, I should say. And all the way through the 1940s and 50s, people were hunting them in the farm fields, with the annual freeze and thaw of the grounds. New material would come to the surface every year. Access was a lot easier back then because the population was actually, not nearly what it is now. Private lands, there was a lot more public land to walk around probably, or private land owners that you were neighbors with and would let you walk around. Now all those areas are closed to the public. It's all private, no more hunting. So that, like, as of the 50s, 60s, 70s, the hunting moved up into the hills because that's where the hunch was, that they came through this canyon, through this alluvial deposit, and spread them all over these farm fields from the Green Canyon where our claims are, right? I don't really buy into that. To me, there's not a lot of evidence up where we're mining that there's any kind of alluvial or major water activity through that canyon. To me, what it looks like is it was all flat and covered by Teanaway basalt at one time. And during the Chalice magmas, the areas to the north of Ellensburg were uplifted. So all of that seam that was in the ground, the same level as the Ellensburg, was uplifted and formed this canyon. And so you can still, it's my belief that you can still find them in those flats. That seam probably runs, somewhere up through the town of or near the town of Ellensburg, but all the way up also into the Green Canyon, where it is abruptly stopped because it is covered by Columbia River basalts that came 35 million years later and just buried everything. So we're right on that edge of Columbia River basalts in the Green Canyon.
Did they ever find any up in the hills like they were looking for?
Oh, yeah. And that's where the original claims started, up there. So our mentor, Carl Carlson, his grandfather, and I probably won't get this story correct. Go back and watch the videos of Carl Carlson and whatnot on YouTube. His grandfather used to hunt a lot and go out horseback riding in those hills a lot. They lived in Tacoma, but they would come over and hunt and just recreate in the area. And he started picking up agate. And one day he had brought home this big blue agate. And Carl's dad was a jeweler and was like, where'd you find this? We got to find this. And so that was in 1968. He found this big blue agate, could not remember where he found it. I just know we were out there. We went this way and we went that way. So from 1968 to 1984, Carl's dad went out searching for that deposit. And in 1984, he found another piece, brought it home. And I swear I'm not making this story up. You'll see it on one of the videos. The two pieces actually fit together.
Oh, wow. Except it wasn't 12 feet apart this time.
It was like, 14 years apart or something crazy like that. And at that time, his son, Carl, was in school for geology. He was finishing up his geology degree. And he brought the two Carls, went out there, and he said, Dad, you want to file a claim on these, don't you? And he said, you bet you do. So they both worked together and made some further discoveries along that canyon and filed for 6 hard rock claims up there. And they mined that from the 70s all the way into the middle 2000s, I'd say, and made a living making jewelry off of it down in Tacoma. There may be some of your audience here too that are familiar with Nick Zentner. He's another YouTube geology professor, and he puts out some amazing educational geology videos. But he's done several, because he's based in Central Washington University in Ellensburg. It's been a particular fascination of his, and he's put out several videos. And as he gets more information, the story is changing, and it's still changing as we continue to learn things about this.
Man, it's so exciting. And only 3 years for these 13 claims, or was it 3 years for the one that you're working?
The 3 years those claims were sold, 3 years ago, those claims were sold to, and maybe it was even 4 years ago.
That's okay. Around
they were sold, whatever. They were sold recently to a private group.
It's probably right in the middle of COVID, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was. It was right in the middle of COVID. It was actually right after that, just after COVID. That's when I was out during COVID hunting for deposits, hunting for agate, all around those claims, knowing I just couldn't go on to those claims, even though I was friends with the claim owner.
Yeah, still respect.
Yeah, when those got transferred to the private club, then I was a member. I was fortunate enough to be a member of that club right off the bat. So I was fortunate to be one of the first people on the ground there. A handful of us made some good friends up there. And then almost immediately, I just started dreaming, and I'd done so much prospecting up there, and my claims partner now, Chris, had also spent years, and we just decided, hey, let's stake some claims so we have something of our own up here. And we just started working on our claims this year. So they've just been sitting. Last year they just sat, and this year is the year that I started working on them.
If you don't mind me asking, is there any problem with folks going out and picking around where they're not supposed to?
Claim jumping is an enormous problem up there.
I figured. I mean, everybody wants that blue gold, man.
It is. It's kind of sad. It's gotten a little better. In the early days, it was real sketch up there. I can't, because I always go up there and I sleep up there. I camp up there. I don't leave. So yeah, there's a lot of late night arrivals, and it's not a place, unless you feel comfortable being there, that you want to be around those people. But it happens, there's not a lot you can do about it. Their law enforcement has a lot of other things on their plates.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I can imagine.
and it's out there. So we do our best to watch out. Like I said, there's 13 claims up there. So we're all good neighbors. We all watch out for each other and kind of keep each other in the loop.
Do you have to take your tools home with you?
Yep, we take everything home. Yeah, we don't leave anything. It's like we weren't there. Trash, tools, everything goes. The most important thing I wanted to show real quick, just we're on it, is what makes Ellensburg Blue different from other blues? Because people always have that question, right?
Oh, that was going to be one of my big questions next is...
there you go.
But the 4 American greats, right? The Mojave, Baxter, Holly, and Ellensburg.
I always thought Baxter was Chihuahua, but it's Mojave, huh? You don't know?
No, I don't know. I don't know nothing. I just know that you better not get it wrong, because someone's going to destroy you. It's so much politics, and it makes sense. I mean, the difference is, like, there's some stuff from Turkey and Mexico that's less than $1 a gram, which can look almost exactly the same, and so you're paying for. Over there, it's cheaper because they're mining harder for less money, but it's also provenance is what you're paying for on these great American blues, and people want that. It's
also just the abundance of the material. You go to any rock show, you're going to see the Turkish blue, the blue lace everywhere. Baxter blue is a common type. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful blue. I always thought it was Chihuahua, but if it's Mojave, I also accept that. I know I saw in Quartzsite this year, there was a guy selling rough from Chihuahua that looked exactly like Baxter. So I don't know if I have mine straight. I dig for Ellensburg.
Well, that's the beauty of talking to you. I mean, we can't tell you what, a picture of someone who's swearing up and down in his Holly, but you can tell them without a doubt that what you're getting is Ellensburg.
Yeah.
Which I think.
And there's some real giveaways in some of them. Ellensburg can actually be tested through XRF. So Central Washington University was the first to start doing that research on Ellensburg blues with Carl Carlson, trying to figure out why the agate is blue, what makes it blue, what are the things in the agate. So they did find out a number of things that separate this from others. From the visible, like rockhound, you and me, somebody picking up rough, some of the things you would look for in an Ellensburg blue are goethite inclusions, quartz, hematite, which can sometimes in a blue agate show up as a red tint almost. Usually it's in a fracture. It'll give off that oxidation of red. Mogonite, which is kind of a fibrous decomposing chalcedony. And then rhyolite also. So as I mentioned before, you often have the rhyolite, the quartz, and I've got some photos up here on the screen. And then the inclusions. The inclusions are kind of your friend and your foe at the same time. If you're making jewelry, they're your foe. Unless you get some good inclusions, you can just leave in the piece. The other thing is through XRF technology, they found there is zirconium in Ellensburg Blue. That's not what makes it blue. What makes it blue is the small orbs of water molecules trapped inside the agate. It's kind of like similar to why the sky is blue, right? It's reflecting that blue light at us. But it does have zirconium in it, which sets it apart from other agates. It's got a lower thermal conductivity than quartz. So early in the days, the Carlson brothers used thermal conductivity. People often brought them in different blues, and they were able to use thermal conductivity because Ellensburg was on a specific range of thermal conductivity different from the other blues. So they used that back in the old days. And the other things I just mentioned, just by looking at the stone, the inclusions, whatnot. Nowadays, you can actually take it to have it analyzed. There's a rock shop in Yakima that did it for a while. I think you could take it in there and have it tested for free, but if you wanted a printout of the test, you paid a minimal fee just for the printout to authenticate it with the mineralization in it, So that's kind of what makes it different, I guess, or like how you can test it by eye and test it by a couple other measures to set it apart from some of the other blue agates.
Oh, that's awesome. Especially in a world where fakes are more convincing and everywhere. I was talking to a gentleman who has a awesome YouTube channel, World of Rockhounds, and he was telling me that near where he lives, Ellensburg is being faked by a Mexican material. And it's a rock shop. It's not even online. You'd expect the faking and the lying to be mostly online, but I guess in a place where people want that Ellensburg when they're traveling in that area of that side of the country. It's regional material. It's beloved, and you got to be careful.
There's a lot of fakes in Washington too. We have several other sites. Unfortunately, they're also part of the Chalice magma story, from what the best I can tell. But even here in Western Washington, there are a couple of nearby areas. There's a blue agate called Walker Valley Blue. Occasionally I see it at quartzite. It sells for about $25 a pound, but it was mined out in the early 90s. Occasionally rock hounders and rock clubs will go out and continue to mine it. But it's different. It's visibly different from Ellensburg. It's a beautiful stone, a beautiful blue. It has some of the similar traits in having rhyolite and quartz near it or with it, but it's just not the same. So you get that. You see it on Facebook Marketplace a lot. There's a lot of fakes up in the Green Canyon as well, where these agates, you'll pull it out of the ground, and because of the water and the soil, they look blue when you pull them out. You get them home, you wash them up, and they're gray. They're just gray.
Oh, wow.
But people, it was blue when I pulled it out, so it's an Ellensburg blue. I know where I got it, that kind of thing, and it's just a constant thing. But if it's blue, when it's blue, there's no doubt.
That's awesome.
We find that there's a lot of there's just a lot of hydrothermal activity that has been up in that area, probably hot springs, fracture zones, whatnot. So we do find a lot of other agate, a lot of gray agate, a lot of your waterline agate. Ellensburg Blue never has water lines.
Oh, wow.
Never. But you find a lot of waterline in the Teanaway basalt, which is what the Ellensburg came up through. It's not in there. It came up through the cracks of it. You'll also find red agate, black agate, green agate, all kinds of messed up stuff up there.
Oh, awesome. Well, they all sound lovely.
Yeah. They're all right.
But you're working with that blue gold, so it's night and day.
Yeah, right.
So, besides just the sheer provenance, what makes good Ellensburg blue? Is it, obviously it's color. Are there any particular patterns? Or people after like fortifications? It's probably easy to think what makes it bad, like fractures or undesirable matrix patterns and such. But what makes it good?
That's a really good question. I think number one, it's personal preference. It comes in a variety of shades of blue, right? From lighter blue to really intense dark violet blue. I think I sent you some that at least I sent you one piece that almost
I think I know exactly which one it is.
Like it's not even blue.
Yeah, it's almost purple.
It's so dark.
Yeah.
So you can get that wide range. I would say there's a popular color of blue known as cornflower blue, which is a really beautiful standard blue, Ellensburg blue. If you look up cornflower, it's a actual flower, a plant, but
Yeah, it's almost
it's a good
periwinkle.
representation of the desirable color that people in Ellensburg are looking for. Now, early in the days, the Carlsons I know avoided jewelry with any kind of pattern other than just blue. So they were making jewelry, they were faceting, they were making stones, belts, earrings, whatever. But some of the later jewelers that have come around working with the material have really expanded. They're really embracing the patterns, the flow patterns, the whatever you call it, fortification banding. And Ellensburg can actually contain different flows in the same stone. So it's possible to have one layer that is just gray chalcedony. The next layer is a light blue chalcedony. The next layer is a dark blue chalcedony. So you can even get that in stones. It can be all over the range. They're not in water lines. They're kind of in fortified layers around the stones. It's generally they follow the lighter on the inside and then get darker towards the outside. But I have seen stones that are the opposite, dark in the middle and lighter to the outside.
Yeah, it seems like when it comes to what they were after in the beginning, that's kind of like just where it was early 1900s, right? Like turquoise, people did not want matrix. They were so much so that some of the most popular turquoise in the turn of the century was coming from Iran because it was just so pure. Now we want matrix. Matrix is money. And I imagine some people really love the fortifications in Ellensburg just as much as the rock solid color.
You know? People love the pattern. And just, the new guys working on the material, Terry Harris and Liam Holroyd and Chris Herrera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a bunch of guys on Facebook that are currently digging material and they're producing their own, they're silversmithing their own.
I see it in gold sometimes. Stuff. I've been looking up the jewelry from Ellensburg, and a lot of it's in gold.
Yeah, gold is good. Still, a lot of people have been working silver lately, but gold is popular because Ellensburg it's very near the town of Liberty, Washington, which is famous for Liberty wire gold. So it's one of those United States sources of crystalline wire gold.
Oh, true.
That was heavily mined in the early 1900s. There are still active mines. I actually worked in a mine a couple years ago underground, just for the fun of it. And there's still some guys producing some amazing gold out in Liberty there. It's just over the hill from us.
Oh man, I wonder if I've seen any specimens from there.
I'm sure if you look up, there's a popular guy up there, but the claims are called the Potato Patch, but he pulls out some really nice stuff, and it's more alluvial. It's not the crystalline. There's another miner, Rob Reppin, who pulls out some nice crystalline wire gold stuff. But there's lots of people out there.
To me, 3 years, 4 years is still pretty new to an area to where you're still trying to get inventory and such. Like what you sent me was probably a big portion of the rough that you're even considering selling. But do you think after a while, after you get it going, that you'd ever consider pay digs? Is that something that you're even legally allowed to do in that area?
It would take an operations plan to do that. Okay. It's not something we're ready to do anytime in the near future.
No, I figure you're so new, but also I have no idea how it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard digging, number one. Number two, access is a problem. It's you kind of need 4-wheel drive to get up there, or it's recommended anyway. I don't have 4-wheel drive, but Yeah, there's a lot of other obstacles, and it's not really on our mind right now.
Yeah, not there yet. You're still trying to get the best of the best that your own land is producing and figuring out what is where. I mean, you see.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. We're still prospecting the deposit, and the last thing you want to do is open it up to a fee dig all of a sudden, and then charge people a bunch of money, rake in money, and then everybody walks away unhappy.
Oh, right.
And you get a bad rap. You know, that's just.
I was at the Mohawk Herkimer diamond mine, I think 2 years ago, and there was a German couple super mad that they heard about this awesome place, and they were there all day and didn't find anything, and that's just the way it is. Sometimes they have some of the biggest stuff, but sometimes you get nothing.
Yep.
I mean, when we think it...
And this place is special. I mean, you often get nothing. We call it Heartbreak Hill for a reason.
Oh man,
it's brutal. I mean, it's brutal.
You know,
I mean, I'm not even going to mention the ticks, the mosquitoes, the biting flies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Then you're bringing all your own supplies, food, water.
Yeah. It's up at 4,500.
No service.
It's at above 4,000 feet, and there's no water, no food, there's nothing there. Yep, you're on your own.
I was gonna say something. Oh, when people think of like digging, there's so many different levels to it. Like I went to the Hauser geobeds in California with a professional who knew exactly where to go, and this 70-plus-year-old man was getting hundreds an evening, where some kids would go out there and find nothing. So it's not just where to go, but also you have to know how to work your land. So when we think, I hope people watching this don't think, oh, he's going out there working casually. Dude, you know how to work your land. You're probably working your ass off to get what you can get that day.
Yeah. You have no idea. I work the hardest I've ever worked in my life.
Sometimes for nothing.
I mean, over the past 3 years, I'm almost 50. And I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I mean, yeah. So I at least take that as a win when I go out there. If I find nothing, I feel better. I'm stronger. I'm better. I'm mentally tougher, you know. So it's still a win.
Oh, that's fabulous. But it is Heartbreak Hill for a reason.
yeah, it's rough.
So everything I have here that folks have seen so far, and maybe some that I didn't get up on the screen during some B-roll stuff, is going to be available. I'm pretty sure prices are going to be on the screen, but you also have an eBay page, which we'll get on the screen. Contact information will be down in the description. Do you have stuff on there right now that you've been working?
I do not have any Ellensburg Blue on eBay, simply because... just because I'm reluctant to do it, because I don't want to deal with the influx of people saying it's fake.
Oh, right.
How do you know it's blue? Like, you know what I mean?
It's a little less personal.
Once there's a reputation and they know they can get it from me and it's authentic, then it's not a problem. Right now, I'm just selling Jasper on eBay because I'm a Jasper guy at heart.
Oh man, you sent me some pictures, maybe some videos of you working Jaspers. You worked with Casey, and his stuff is on fire. Pretty much like the rock of the year.
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience working with Casey and Sage up there.
You know, it's good when Eugene Mueller is going out to dig with you. If he's going out of when he's going out of his way to go look for something, it's good.
And I tell you what, those 2 weeks I spent with Gene and Jake Jacobitz and Gary McFarland, it was just priceless. Just getting to soak in all of their knowledge and experience. It was amazing. A dream come true for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, man. But so you will get some blue on there eventually. Just it's not up there right now.
If anyone is interested working directly with me, of course you can show the contact info. They can just reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, any other way, and I can sell rough that way.
I'll put some screenshots of what it looks like if you want to find it yourself, but also links in the description below, folks, for those of you that want to just have a direct link to those places. Yeah, it's no fake. He's got the real deal, which is why I was so excited to work with you, because I've seen pieces at shows, $50 a carat or more, of this legendary material and knew absolutely nothing about it besides that it's often faked. It probably wasn't mined, as hard as other materials. I know it's not. I mean, there's 13 claims, but does anybody own more than one claim?
Chris and I own 2, awesome. And then the private group owns the 6 original hard rock claims. There's another group of 2 partners that have 3 claims, I think.
Yeah, it's not like Fire Agate where there's 100 plus people working this stuff.
No,
handful of people.
No, well, the private group has a lot of people up there, so it is that way in some regards. But our claims kind of surround that, so they're on the island, we're on the perimeter. It's fine. We get along great. That's
awesome. Yeah. Big blue love.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
It's good times.
So
that's really we're just, I tell my friends, it's Heartbreak Hill, but in reality, we're not blue agate is great. We all love these stones, jasper, agates, everything. But it's that thrill. It's that roller coaster ride where you cut something new and you open it for the first time and you get that rush. Or you work your butt off for 20 hours for you think nothing, and then you find one and you get that. It's that roller coaster ride. That's what we're really all after,
That's awesome. I mean, I bet you it's probably so easy for you to be like, you know what? None of this is for sale. It's all mine.
It is, but again, I have other projects going on too, so, and they're Jasper heavy.
Yeah,
I'm where everything's for sale, except a few of my collections.
I'm happy you have a collection. A lot of people sell off their collection and then they retire. They don't have the best of what they've ever found, and I think that's super unfortunate.
I still have, we don't have a very good camera to show this, but this piece is still my best. It's a big botryoidal vug right here. You can kind of see, but it's 3.5 pounds, and it's just got blue running all through the quartz. It's a beauty. And that was after several hard days of almost nothing, giving up, never coming back. And I gave the rock hammer a few more swings, and there it came.
Oh, that is
so
awesome.
That's what we tell ourselves too. Just keep going. Don't give up. Just keep going.
Oh, that's fabulous. Yeah, you're never gonna see a big 20-ton pile of it in quartzite over there at Stoddard Wells.
Definitely not. Never. No chance.
You're never going to see one of those mass production cab cutters selling it for $5 a cab and the tumbled cabs in the trays at the Keno show. There's never going to be a foreign entity just buying it all, undercutting you guys as much as they can just to be the definitive lowest price. It's a very safe material to, I don't like to use the word invest with rocks, but it's a safe material. There's never going to be a foreign company selling trays of cabs of it at $5 a piece. They're going to have to buy it from you. Just like anybody else.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, I will say this interview is about me, but there's a lot of other people on that mountain that do really great work and work just as hard as I do, if not harder. And shout out to them. They don't always get a lot of attention, but you can go on, there's Ellensburg Blue Facebook groups. People selling material, selling jewelry they've made, some of the guys digging it themselves. So I encourage listeners to check that out. If you're looking for something authentic, you can find some nice stuff.
Oh, I bet you it's such a small group that everyone's gonna know if they really mind it. Like everybody, you probably know everybody on that group.
Everybody knows. Yeah, everybody knows. We're a tight group, and it's good. We like it that way.
Awesome, brother.
It's tight. It's friendly. It's fun, and everybody does really good work.
I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to chat with me, bro. It's such a blessing.
Thank you, man. I know you're so busy. It's a pleasure of mine to be able to sit and talk to you.
Is that your skateboard up on the wall?
It's my son's, actually. I used to BMX. I never skateboarded, but yeah.
That's just as intense and actually quite sometimes a lot bigger falls.
Yeah, I've got some serious lingering injuries. I've got a shoulder all messed up, and yeah, I'm beyond that now. I dig for rocks.
Heck yeah, you could bust your butt just as hard, I bet.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much, man. And so we're gonna do a live. If you can join the live, we'll figure out when's good for you, when we're gonna be offering up some of the material here. Although, folks, if you saw anything that you like that I put up on screen, take a screenshot of it and message me directly, and we can make sure you can get it before the live. There's a lot of folks of you that are watching that don't want to do the lives because it's a bit of a competition. Who gets it first? And if you saw that one piece that you wanted and now you have to be have the fastest internet kind of thing, go ahead and message me directly with a screenshot. Also, I don't do this very often, folks, but if you want to buy something that you saw in this video today and have me cut it, I will do that for a slight additional charge. But I don't offer that a lot. So you'll be buying it from Rich with the material I have here. We get him paid. Then you could pay me. It's probably going to be by produced cut carrot or whatever, but I will be offering that service because it's such an honor to cut this material. But I will say I do want to cut it all on live. So if you don't want me cutting stuff live that I'm cutting for you, then I can't do it. I only want to do it live because this stuff is epic. Brother, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Sorry, I got a little excited.
No, it's all good. We all do.
Awesome.
I think I was a little excited earlier. All right. Well, good to talk to you.
Heck yeah, brother. See you soon. All right, folks. So I'm going to put up some clips of pieces that are available for purchase that Matt sent to me, along with the price per gram grade, the weight of the stone, and how much each piece costs. If you're interested in anything that you see, feel free to reach out to me via text. I'll put my phone number up on screen here, as well as down in the description section below. I also want to do a few giveaways. So I think the first person who makes a purchase, I'm going to give away one of these cabochons that I cut from the $5 a gram grade material. This one has a really cool cavernous vug. And this one has a really cool, fun inclusion of something I don't know going across the top. But also, besides just this video, I do want to do a dedicated live sale for folks that might want to buy it that way. If you buy more than one piece, we can do, a better deal, obviously. And I'm going to go ahead and say anybody who buys more than one piece, we could do free shipping. Not too sure when the live video is going to be happening. Maybe as late as during the Denver Gem Show, which starts around the 6th of September. But I really want Matt Richards and maybe even his mining partner to be there when we do the live sale. So in the meantime, if you're interested in any of this awesomely rare, totally beautiful and beloved blue agate from Ellensburg, Washington, feel free to reach out to me. I do have most of what Matt Richards has available for purchase rough, but definitely check out his Instagram, Facebook, and his eBay, all of which that information will be down in the description section. And check out some of his other jaspers. He mines a lot of great stuff from Idaho, Oregon, Washington, just out west, all that good stuff, all the good porcelain jaspers and agates. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe. it really does help if you've made it this far in the video. Like the damn video. Thanks, y'all. Enjoy. Grams, $75.
shed light on the shadow to let shine a holy glow with blessings of a reflection